Okay, so we back with another one, and this time it's not AI. It's straight from me myself. How to properly attempt at a free state achievement. Okay, this is if you ain't seen my other videos, you need to go watch them. Go get your sovereignty back. Read the handbook I got right after or before you go get your sovereignty back, and then get some of that sovereignty doctrine about how much you value your sovereignty and all of that. So once you done went down that path, those videos, I got very nice thumbnails on them. They look nice. They stand out on my channel from my regular content. And this is another one of those videos that's getting a special thumbnail. Yeah. So go watch all the videos with the special thumbnails on this page that you see this video. Main EDU, which is educational stuff. And number one, this is built into United States law. A free state, and that is the second bill in the Bill of Rights. And if you know me, you watch my regular content, I talked about the difference between the U.S. Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So, yeah, there's a difference, and it covers different stuff. But in both of those, you will know the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms for the maintenance of a free state. Pretty much, that's where we at here. And people, they just learn that stuff, and they really don't take it in and understand that that's the law. So when you get faced with that, and you know what it means, you paid attention, and it's not just some dream. It's like, oh, that's history. We just learned that stuff. No, that's real law. That's what's really controlling life right now. So this free state stuff is a big deal. So let's get into the video. A successful strike is when you pick a deadly fight with a police officer and they die, but no outlaw tribe gunslingers are killed or arrested. Each strike is counted as only an attempt toward a free state. The strikes must continue until we have a genuine, actual free state. Okay, and this is just from the mouth of the founder of Outlaw Tribe, but it's different societies and groups and stuff like that out there. So this is for tribesmen, but for anybody else out there who's not Outlaw Tribe, for whatever reason, there's certain things that can disqualify you from being Outlaw Tribe or even being an affiliate. But it's not just about Outlaw Tribe gunslingers. This whole strike thing is a universal. It don't matter what you is. You could be a cartel member. You could be in some type of dynasty. You could be in the mob, some type of street gang. You know how it's Crips and Bloods. You could be any one of those. But if an officer is injured and one of your people die, that was not a successful strike. If an officer dies and one of your people go to jail, not a successful strike. And it's not like your whole gang gonna be there every time. It might be anywhere from 6 to 12 niggas. If you're a part of something serious, it's way more than 12 niggas involved, surely. So there's that. And this got to keep being done until there's actual free state. But the way I got it in here is so easy that you really just a participant who's the chances of you getting mixed up in something is very slim, and the chances of us not getting a free state using these methods very slim. So one shooter per side of the car. Never shoot at the same side. 3 men total per car. Now I would have said 4 niggas in the car, but if 2 niggas shooting off one side, even if one shooting high and one shooting low, the chances of an accident happening or the nigga that's shooting high is sitting on the door sill, and the driver have to do some type of maneuver, even at low speeds, that could drop a nigga out the car, have him hurting. Now he fucked. There was no point in him even being there because he's injured, fell out the car, all type of shit. So I say only 2 shooters per car. If you need more shooters, then you need more cars. That's just never shy away from adding extra cars. If you need more shooters, that means you need more cars. I mean, you need more drivers. So that's just the facts. Click tight with your homeboys, because, hey, if you accidentally kill your fellow tribesmen or sacrifice them, rather on or off a strike, then you must be killed. This means take your time and do everything as safe as possible. The driver got to stay calm and, don't accidentally hit nobody, which is why I say don't even shoot off the same side of the car. When you shoot, you should just be leaning out with the rifle outside the door. Never shoot with the rifle inside. You should be leaning on the side of the door, shooting out the side. The driver could put you where you need to be at to where you can hit. And if you get really good, then you'll be able to lean, put your elbow on top of the car and shoot that way. Other than that, unless you got some type of something you can hold on to while you shoot a full-size rifle, which I don't see, but that's just being safe. We don't want none of our own getting hit by our own. That's just stupid. Only strike at night. Only strike during the day if it's absolutely necessary. That speaks for itself. Never strike in your own county unless there is almost a collective free state in all the Confederate states. Otherwise, it is reduced safety. Pretty much, if you do that in your own town and the officer could recognize you. I just seen a video where the officers let a white dude die because he killed two officers. They stopped, and this is why I say use full-size rifles. And I'm going to get into that later, but pretty much he whipped out a full-size rifle versus two officers using handguns, and he killed both of them. And they only hit him back one time in the leg, and the officers just let him get on the scene and bleed out because he killed the officer. So I would say take a tourniquet. If you do go, you take a tourniquet. I'm going to put that in there real quick. I don't know how to spell it. I know it's Quuette. Is that, I spelled it right? I spelled it right. Yep. Take a tourniquet. You will find it if you look it up like that. Stop any to stop any bullet wound to a limb. Okay, bleeding out is a thing. You can die from bleeding out. So, yeah. Take a tourniquet and use it if you need it. But, okay, boom. Ways to initiate a free state attempt or a strike. Because niggas going to be like, nah, you know, how is this shit sound easier for? How do I do it? This is how you do it. You got the bait call. When you fake a call claiming domestic violence, when you fake a call claiming domestic violence incident and lure the officers to a location where you and other gunslingers have the tactical advantage to kill them. Whether it's niggas that could just pop outside off a balcony or might be hidden behind a car or in the trunk or SUV, wherever you just could get the ups, surprise ups, and get up close really quick, close the distance if needed, and stuff like that, just to, shoot. So the bait call is like a standoffish type of deal, but the standoff is where you got the advantage instead of them having the advantage, which they will have if they call for backup if you don't have enough people. The bait joyride, classic. This is going to be the ultra classic one. I already know this. At night, aggressively joyride a vehicle around a county that is far from your home. When the police pull you over, kill them. It's an automatic bang out when they pull you over. He get out the car, start coming towards yours, and whatever side he not on, they open the door and start busting at him. And then boom, he getting busted at from one or two cars or two people, two different sides of the car. Everybody just shooting them, but they shooting from outside the car. If you shoot a gun inside the car, everybody pretty much gonna go deaf from how the echo is gonna echo back inside. Don't never shoot a gun inside of a car. Always put the gun outside the car when you shoot. And the on-site one that I put in. Let me fix that. On-site. If you see an officer in public, get in a position that gives you the tactical advantage, then kill them. Whether it's right up close on them without them noticing you at all, or whether you feel like they might be thirsty to shoot, so you stand off somewhere that you could easily get cover with and then hit at them. You know, because you might feel like, oh, if I hit him, he a big fella. His adrenaline going to keep him alive. He going to bust back and all this and that. You know, just because you get first ups do not mean that you guaranteed to survive. That's just the truth. Somebody could just be off some stuff and bust back and then kill you. And y'all both die. So, terrible, terrible, terrible. Now we get down to some more pretty much basic stuff that you probably don't know and need to be told. I'm not even gonna lie. A lot of people, I feel like you have to lead them to the water, and then when you get to the water, you have to teach them how to drink. So, never make a free state attempt without full-size rifles. 7.62 by 39, 5.56 by 45. Use whichever you can consistently hit a target with and modify it. Red dots. Some people like to put on their backup guns laser sights. Some people like laser sights on their primary rifle. Niggas just be bust flashlights, all that. Tracer, all type of different stuff you could use. You must use a full-size rifle with a 16-inch barrel for the maintenance of our free state. That's just what it is. You're not really gonna be able to keep consistently shooting with a Draco or some type of AR pistol. You want to be able to shoulder it and lean on stuff and relax with it and be stable with it. You don't want to have to shoot in the back. You know, the back kind of swerving side to side every time you recoil. Not only the back, but the front swerving off automatic recoil. That's just default recoil. When you could just soak all that up in your shoulder and be relaxing, leaning on the door or whatever, shooting comfortably, hitting what you need to hit so you can, you know, get away without doing all type of extra stuff. Like you just want to end it instead of, you know what I mean? You don't want to cause yourself too much, but you want to contribute to the free state. Body armor won't matter. If you do like straight up bang outs with the police with vests, like if you just put on a vest and you like, I'm just gonna bang it out with the police straight up, you know, shoot out the legs, shoot the arms out, and then stand over finisher. If you do get into a bang out with them, you probably gonna, there's no point in just banging it out with them. Okay. When you bang it out, you finish them. You should always wear a full set of ceramic level 4 armor plates. Front, back, and side plates, never steel or polymer. A single hit means you need to replace the hit plate as soon as safely possible. Never willingly take a shot to the armor plate unless it's absolutely necessary. That speaks for itself. You know, one plate to some ceramic armor means its integrity is degrading by the second. So you need to just go ahead and as soon as you can safely replace it, like outside of a bang out where you done chilled, any wounds that you got, grazed, hit, whatever, you done got around to looking at them at least while you trying to treat them. That's when you put new plates in your plate carrier, any hit plates, and replace it with decent plates again, level 4 or better ceramic plates, because they have Kevlar behind the ceramic. The ceramic is just the shell. The Kevlar is there to also be that extra level of protection for anything. So you just gotta love them. Okay. This is why I spoke earlier about having a good driver. When under pursuit, shoot several times directly into the engine's air manifold, because that's pressurized, the air manifold, the valve covers, the radiator, and the headlights, and the fog lights, and the timing belt, which is usually on the front with the pulleys. So you can hit those too when you start busting at them. The only thing the police might have that get in the way is the ram guard. So you're going to have to hit at it a few times to make sure that some shots get past the ram guard and hit the radiator, which is another pressurized system because it's under a pump. Anything under a pump is pressurized, so that means it's going to leak at maybe anywhere from twice as fast to 10 times as fast, depending on engine conditions. So that's going to be slowly draining out the engines. And if you hit the air manifold, the pressure in there going to start to vent out. That might cause overheating. The engine losing coolant. If you hit the valve covers, then you probably hit a valve. That mean that a valve could get stuck open, valve spring broken, engine just steadily losing power, so it don't really got to shut off. It's just gonna be impossible to get over 10 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour when your engine is doing this, especially with bad pulleys. Now the coolant pump not even working, so it don't matter whether coolant in there or not. The oil pump won't be working if the pulley get hit for that. So it'll be out of commission, and you just pretty much shutting the engine down. Once the oil pump go out, the engine seized. If you get really lucky, you hit the alternator, the engine just shut off automatically. So yeah, let me put the alternator as well. Let me continue, and I'll come back later and add the alternator. They should be shot out without these pulleys, the cooling system, the oiling system, like I just said. See shortly after. And okay, I have it in here. If you shoot out the alternator, the engine will instantly shut off. You'll have to slow down the vehicle while shooting. No more than 30 miles an hour, 45, really less than that. So the shooters don't have to panic while they trying to do what they got to do, so you could get away. So when you do pick up speed, the chase is already over with. This car that y'all encountered, whatever came back or whatever could have came and showed up, is out of there. So you just got to keep going. That driver got to be really good and handle the car at high speeds, so you can cross a few cities or counties. Might even have to cross state lines and go hang out somewhere for a little while, like a minute. Get rid of the vehicle, get rid of everything. You'll have to get rid of a lot of stuff. When shooting at higher speeds, simply lean on the window's edge while inside the moving car with the rifle shoulder inside the car. In the car door locked. Never shoot with the rifle inside the car. The shells could fly away from the car and other tribesmen. Be careful to avoid hitting your fellow tribesmen at all costs. Be careful to avoid hitting your fellow tribesmen at all costs. Okay, boom. So the shells, like if you shooting from the passenger side, the gun should be leaning. If you facing backwards from the passenger seat, the shell should be flying upward. If you in the back seat shooting from the driver's side, which is the only way you can shoot from the driver's side, so that means that the passenger side driver got to shoot from the front. Both of y'all can sit in the back seat, or one can sit in the front seat and one can sit in the back seat, the shooters. But the shooter who's on the driver's side, shell should be flying directly out to the side or to the ground if he's leaning on the car. So your shells, you don't have to worry about that. Your shells are just going to pop out the gun, fly away, because you're going to have the rifle outside the car. Even if you have the clip sitting inside the car, because you could have some of the clip in the car with the rifle barely sticking out to keep a low profile in case the officers decide to shoot back at you or something crazy, until you can shoot back at whoever's shooting at you and finish them. But if you want to keep a low profile, you just have the magazine sitting inside. 30-round magazine, 100-round magazines. You should really have 7 full 30-rounders at minimum. So I'm going to get into that as we go forward in the video. But yeah, when you're shooting at higher vehicle speeds, you must lean. If you just slow rolling, you really could sit on the edge of the window, and if there's something you can hold on to, you can just shoot over top. I don't see how you could do that with a full-size rifle without getting tired, which make no sense. But if it was me, I would always be leaning. When I'm in this, if I ever end up in a predicament like this, I'm always going to be leaning and shooting. So just to make sure that I'm getting off shots, because I just seen a video, like I said, where this man killed 2 officers. He just had a rifle and he killed 2 officers. They couldn't, it was the stability that he had with a rifle is unrivaled unless you have a rifle. So the police do have AR-15s, so trust me, AKs is the way to go whenever you do this. That's the freedom rifle. That's what all revolutionaries have used that I've been looking at all that. It's just the perfect gun, and it's made to be ran cheaply, and everything just AK. This whole thing just say AK-47. If the officers shoot back, kill them by shooting directly at the shooters first, then the driver. The shots will shatter bulletproof glass and limit driver visibility or penetrate and kill the target. Shoot any exposed parts of the shooters first. Look out for windows going down. That means they are going to shoot at you. Shoot at them first. 7.62s may penetrate the vehicle glass. I'm pretty sure cops have a degree of bulletproofing on their glass. 7.62 is more than likely getting through it, and hitting targets on the other side of their glass. Shoot any exposed parts. Cops are not going to shoot through their front window. They not going to shoot directly through the front window. They're going to put the gun outside like anybody would do with some sense and then shoot that way if they start going savage like that. And shoot directly, start shooting at them, start shooting at their hands, just let shots off and try to hit their hand and them. Like, don't let up and don't let them keep busting at you. Don't just keep getting hit at while you hanging out the window. If they start hitting at you, put armor plates in the car. Steel plates, hook them up to the seat, rig something up in the trunk, make a wood frame where you got straight steel armor plates, because they don't have to be ceramic, so you don't have to keep replacing armor plates in your car. If you got your sovereignty back, it's your car. They can't take your car. So they can run it all they want, but if somebody who got a sovereignty on it, they can't touch it. So you can really set your car up however you want. Just know that they going to eventually just want to straight kill you. So that's what they already want. But once you was proving that you was notorious with it and you start whacking officers and having a name, that's just common sense. Yeah, if the officers shoot back, kill them off top. Don't, if you kill officers and they even try to come after you too aggressively, just kill them. Like, if you can't just shoot their engine out and get away, you got to kill them. That's just, if you keep playing with them, they gonna kill you. I'm just saying, that's just as real as it get. This shit crazy, but the law says that the law tells us out, it tell you straight up, guns, free state. There's a correlated topics. At the core, they related to what this country got going on. So if you don't think you're supposed to use guns to kill people to maintain a free state, then you have to be foolish and you've been deluding yourself. And any judge that don't see that is obviously deluding themselves. I don't care what type of judge or justice you is. If you don't see that in plain English, then you just a fool. And if you could read all the other deceit and trickery in the word and of all the other stuff that's written in this country, and you ignore that right there in the main bill of rights, the main bill of the country, then you got some type of illness, and that's the whole point of us using guns. So, boom. If shooting at a flying vehicle, the AK-47 full-size rifle can knock down a helicopter. If a round hits a vital engine component or aerodynamic instrument, it exits the chase. It has the power remaining at that height to do so, especially if multiple rifles being used. So if it's 3 of y'all at night, 3 cars, 3 drivers, 6 shooters, and y'all just get one of y'all to go joyriding and the other 2 just looking like they just following, driving normal until the bang out happen. Because they only there for the bang out and the driver's only there to escape when the bang out, the whole thing over with. So pretty much you had 3 cars and y'all all shooting AKs at a helicopter that done got involved. So because it's actually going to be pretty stupid after a while to do that with only 1 car. You're going to need several cars. It's going to be a point where you might need up to 5 cars or more, stuff like that. But if everybody got their own car, everybody getting money, the way that I have it as a government set up to where the money is going to be generated from the very beginning. It's going to start being generated that way from the very beginning. But yeah, and with the helicopters in the chase, they not hard to deal with. The helicopter uses a very, very powerful engine, and it's probably turbocharged given the fact that it's always in the air. What that means is if an AK is fired up and it doesn't hit a vital engine component, it could be sucked into the engine because this engine is pulling in a lot of air. It's burning a lot of fuel, it's using a lot of air, and it's very powerful. So if this piece of metal from the AK gets sucked into, if it don't got no power remaining at that height, that's if it don't have the power, which it does. But if it don't, then the engine just gonna suck it in, and it might clog a valve inside the engine. It's a piece of metal that's just going into an engine when they go into the piston, it's going to get sucked in. It's going to go into the piston and break a valve. The helicopter is going to lose power dramatically. And without full power, the helicopter is going down. So they're going to have to make a decision that they have to stay into the chase and risk crashing and blowing up when they hit the ground, or exit the chase. How many helicopters can be fired? I don't know. But that's why shooters need to have over 1,000 rounds when they go out anytime to do anything close to this. Because this is something you just got to decide. I'm for the freedom in the country and go do. You know, this is not something that you just get mad at the last minute and crash out. Like the man I saw kill 2 officers. He got mad and crashed out, and he barely got injured. But they let him bleed out on the scene. You know, that was very obvious because he only got hit in the leg. So 1 shot to the leg, the officers let him bleed out. But he only did it because of a divorce. And yeah, this is not something you do at the last minute like that and just crash out. Something you decide, collaborate, congregate with the homies who's down, who you know gonna shoot when these officers start trying to act up. Because if they not gonna shoot, it's no sense in them coming. Even a driver need to have at least a pistol and at least 100 shots to himself, his own 100 shots for his handgun, with 30-round mags, or a carbine if you don't want to use a full size. At least a carbine, something like a HK. I mean, maybe like a Strabog, some type of carbine or SMG that take a pistol caliber that he could at least do an arm, leg, takedown, defend itself if need be, because the officer is going to kill the driver if it get to that point. I'm just saying, like, the chances of him being able to turn himself over without them being super flaky, I don't know. They had a guy and they ran him over with a Cub, an armored truck. The police had an armored truck. They ran somebody over with and killed him. You know, so, hey, I'm just saying, be safe and sorry. If you was a driver in this and you get involved in this, you going to need a gun and you going to need to be shooting. So, yeah, you might be able to move lightweight because you just a driver, but you still going to need a gun and you still going to need several rounds and you still going to need to be shooting. Okay. Like I said, with the AK, it can knock down the helicopter. I don't know if an AR-15 can. I'm not going to doubt it, but I'm surely the size of the bullet is so small that I don't know. It'll do something with of course, several shots will do something. So I'm gonna just say that. If you use glowing tracer rounds, then you can see exactly where the rounds are going by looking directly at them as they are going there. This allows for better timing adjustments for max accuracy against moving or flying targets. If you can see where the bullet's going at directly, it's way easier to time stuff, especially when you're shooting at a helicopter, which is in the sky. And you know how AK bullets have some type of, all bullets have bullet drop. They call it gravity, but I'm going to just say whatever. You could say gravity or buoyancy. Either way it go is a force acting on the bullet that make it go down. So if you could see the pattern that is going down, when it's going up, it's going down, when you can see the pattern, it make it a lot easier to time it. So those tracer rounds give you a big advantage, and you kind of get to choose where you want to hit at that point, because you could just say look and time it and then do it again until you put bullets inside of the engine air intake, which is usually on top of the helicopter, and sometimes I don't know where else. It might be on the side or something like that. Okay, so there are several different round types. You got incendiary, the glowing tracers. You got heart and core armor piercing, and that's just 3 to name. You got the dragon's breath, which is a whole nother type of deal. It's like it's no fire. The round is just straight up clobs of burning material that's 5,000 degrees. Dragon breath shotgun rounds, and I got them on my Twitter my X account, formerly known as Twitter. Okay, you must have at least 1,150 rounds per gunslinger per free state attempt start basis or replenishing event when attempting, but no more than 2,000 to save weight. And you like, bro, what you mean replenishing? Like, when a nigga hit these, he about to be just ducked off. Like, nah, because as that shit get worn down, niggas obviously gonna start feeling more confident about doing multiples in a short time span and shit. And you gonna need to refill ammo for that, because if you don't, you're going to get killed. It's that simple. If you don't replenish every time you start that, then you're going to get killed. Because it's going to be nothing worse than ending up in that predicament without having 2,000 bullets, 2,000 rounds per person shooting from a car. The ammo weight must be evenly distributed inside the car to save gas. So everybody it's shots all in the car. And when niggas need ammo, they just get it from how the weight is evenly distributed. That means that the floorboards need to have bullets in them and really avoid the trunk because it should have armored plates, a frame that covers directly, like butted up against the back seat. So if something do get fired at the car from the back, it don't just bust through the trunk and bust through the back seat and then kill one of the people inside. That'll be stupid to just go out spinning and not have armor plates. Still level 4 plates inside. You're going to have to construct something from wood. It's going to have to be stable because otherwise you just going to get shot at the trunk and die. And it's a plus also because if you layer it to where it's placed close to the trunk, the actual back of the trunk, and it's placed on the seat side within the trunk, then I mean you have 2 layers of plates. That mean that if the police were to fire something, you could let the back seat down like a track. If they fire a tracker or something, you could let the back seat down. One of the shooters could, climb into the trunk and snatch the little tracker off the car. In a place to be there to cover him while he do it, so the chances of him falling out, if there's a stiff wooden frame that got the steel plates in it, built into it, to where they protect everybody, is just nice. And you don't want bullets back there with the weight of the steel plates, And they don't need spalding cut. They don't need any spalding covers because they just sitting in the trunk. So if they get hit, they fly up or down. You have to put some plates over the gas tank as well in some type of way, so they don't get hit by officers that way either. Those steel plates, big deal. You might even could get them custom form fitted. I'm pretty sure it'll be better to save weight that way instead of having to chop pieces of a car up to put plates in. But either way, you're going to need some bulletproof steel to protect you while you inside the car. If not bulletproof glass, because you really don't need bulletproof glass. It's just good to have because if you can duck behind the door while you drive away, or you have shooters who are going to cover fire, then you good. But the shooters obviously need plates to take cover behind. Okay. So yeah, distribute the weight of the ammo inside the cabin with the shooters. You don't want ammo in the trunk anyway because you can't access it in the trunk if you need it. Never cruise around with any empty mags or empty bullet spots in your magazines. Any chill time should result in magazine fulfillment. Once it gets sweet again, niggas gonna be able to bust 10 shots and it's all over with. Like, the cops want nothing to do with it after 10 rounds. And once you bust those 10 rounds and start driving away, you need to put those 10 rounds back in the magazine so you have 7 fully filled magazines. Okay. Each shooter must have at least 7 pre-filled magazines, 7.62 by 39 preferred. Why? Because the ammo is cheap compared to rounds that must be in brass, which is AR-15s. Any AR-15, not just 5.56, 223 AR, all AR-15s, no matter what they chambered in, have to shoot brass. But the AK, since it's a gas piston system and it's a lot looser with the tolerances that it runs off, it's allowed to use ammunition that can really wear a gun down over time if it's super tight tolerances. But since the AK don't have that, it just keep going with cheap ammo. So it's really easy to keep the clip full compared to other guns price-wise, which matters. And plus, the 7.62 is a more better performing round, especially within the 200-yard range. Very vicious round. And it can really go far. So a highly skilled driver who has plenty of experience with handling high horsepower cars, self-control, a calm demeanor, and high-speed control is necessary when attempting at a free state. So pretty much this dude got to be a real G. Like, he either got to be a real G or somebody that you can really control they mind state if they just a driver. But he really got to be a real G, because at the end of the day, he might have to shoot. So as much as driving is sweet, if you got good enough shooters, the driver never have to shoot, but he might have to shoot. It might come a situation. So it's, again, the shooter's choice, because they the ones who trust in this dude with their life. So he got to be official. He got to have experience. If it's me, he got to be highly experienced. Like, you got to already been fucking around with these cars, maybe even drove on the edge and crashed a few, and you still love them. Whatever the car is, modify it, you love it, you really like it. You know, that's the only way. You gotta fuck. You might even have to fucked up a few times and just been skilled and got more cars and kept doing it. That's a way to trust a nigga who actually know how to drive, not just a nigga who fucking up cars for nothing. You know what I mean? So you must digitally vanish and spend extended periods of time away from home, or you will be apprehended repeatedly with a high possibility of more force each time. If your identity is ever revealed, they're going to keep using more force if they come after you. Every time they come after you, after they get you, as you already know, that's what they do already. They'll even say, oh, it's him, and not light you up, nothing. They just going to just call back up off top. Like, they just going to see you and say, boom, back up. I got to, and tell them exactly what's going on, where you at, where you headed, what you driving, what you wearing, everything. Trust me. So that's why I say get away from where you stay at. Number one, you should be in a whole nother place with a car that can't be traced back to you, because you're gonna have to get rid of it. You know, don't even waste time getting rid of it. Drop that shit any random place that there ain't no cameras around, and catch a bus back to where you live, wherever you live at. Like, catch a Uber over towns, or get a rental. Man, it's like a million ways to get from one town to another. I'm just saying. You could pay a random person to just take you to another town, get them $100 just to take you a town over or two, to whatever, you know, and just really get around. So you got to digitally vanish. Watch my videos. Like I said in the beginning, I got a video about digital vanishing. I got a video about all this stuff. So it's not like I'm just telling you some random stuff. I do everything the safest way. And this is real life. This shit feel like a game, but it's actually real life. And you was told in school, in the law, that governments do what they do. That's what it said. It told you how to get out the gate. So if you act surprised when they do certain stuff, and you got to show and make certain statements with actions, because actions speak louder than words, then you start to realize. And if you don't, that means you don't understand, or your genetics hasn't reached the age that they need, the age on the timeline till they awaken. So some people awaken earlier than others, but that's just how life is. So use as many trail cars as you want, because again, they're going to increase the force on you. And if you have trail cars, that's like instant help, just the way they're going to instant help on you. I'm just saying. So you should even let your own convoy track you, so that they could give you supplies and other help. Convoys consist of 4 to 55 vehicles of any type, and may add several additional vehicles depending on occurrences or uses. Okay, 55 is just a number I threw out there, but it really could be as many as you want. I'm going to say at minimum, you're going to want at least 4. You know, immediate trail car, 2 other cars in the back with like multiple, maybe vehicles that carry more than 2 shooters, or a convoy that jump out anytime they see you need help, anything like that. You know, that you don't even have to call them. They got you tracked. So yeah, it's when you start seeing effectiveness. Me, myself, especially, you know, it's like, this is the law of the country. So yeah, use as many trail cars as you want, just like the first line I said. A driver and 2 gunslingers mandatory for every car. 3 men per car mandatory, with 1,150 rounds per shooter mandatory. And that's a breakdown of the cars again, because any other way is wrong. You know, 1 shooter in a car and a driver, that's a really shitty situation. I'm not gonna lie. You're going to need at least 2 shooters and a driver. Otherwise, I would say don't do it, because people have to be specially dedicated in their fields and take it very serious, because if they don't, then you niggas die for real. This is real life, and you die. 3 men per car with 1,150 shots per shooter mandatory. And that's the minimum. You really could go up to 2,000 or whatever your car can hold. But I would say don't put too much, because you're just going to start burning gas out. So maybe like 2,500 or 3,000 maximum. And the minimum is what I got right here, 1,150. So never let the convoy trail closely unless they are an immediate trail car. They should drive in a manner that avoids any unnecessary attention or interactions, and not blow their cover while trailing to assist in any standoffs and help in them quickly. Whatever they might be driving, souped up SUVs, some type of Sprinter, Dodge, Benz. The main shooter could be in something fast. The main shooter could even be in a coupe. The guy who wants to get pulled over with a driver with him, I would suggest a SUV. But yeah, never let the convoy trail closely, because it'll just start to look suspicious if it start to pick up at all. Any supply van or truck should be alert, but even further away from your convoy, they may have to go back home or a safe house to get more supplies safely. If you start using your own dedicated vehicles, once this shit become a threat, a real force, and people start being comfortable reusing the same shit, the same guns, the same cars, it'll be a point where you just start to avoid certain places, and you just gonna need to send other people to go and do things you need done in those places. Because if you go there, you're dead. You got a bounty or whatever. You just became ultra notorious, like real life Grand Theft Auto. But the police got your picture everywhere. You just the most ultra notorious nigga of all time that has been notorious in this modern world, and you just can't go certain places off top. So you just send a supply truck or something like that. And that's just the distances that I have for the mile markers for trail cars, supply trucks, and stuff like that. For safety, you don't want a supply truck with you on the road. You don't want a supply truck anywhere near any type of hot shit that go on. That shit is like the ultra savior, the last lifeline, unless you got other more advanced stuff going on. Until I have more advanced stuff going on, that'll be the max, besides any safe houses or stuff like that. But yeah, those supply trucks can bring you guns from other states, might even be able to bring you an entire car with a car dolly to another state, and you just ditch the one you got and just say fuck it. Know what I mean? But yeah, this is the video of how to attempt a free state. Watch this as many times as you need. This is the safest way. You need to go get your hands on that handbook. Yeah. All on this page, main edu. I'll put my X account right here. It's main 3X. That's my X. And this YouTube account right here is main edu. And my Instagram. If you're really interested in this type of stuff, then you would go to this Instagram right here. And this is my personal Instagram. So yeah, that's the video. how to properly attempt at a free state.